Michael, a difficult afternoon.
Oh, very, very tough afternoon, especially the second half. Yeah, really tough, but I think, the game starts, we're in the game, no problem, we're in it, we're definitely in it. It's to and fro in, probably not the best goal to concede, but we're still in the game, and we're looking like, causing them problems. I've seen them play many a times and suffocated teams at home, been very good at home, but we're massively in the game. It's ebbing and flowing, and we're just about to go in at half time, and then an incident happens, and it's just disappointing. But I've got to be careful because I don't know. I'm waiting for the referee's report. I've got two sides of the story. But that moment changes the game, and this is a tough place to come anyway. And then for the lads' second half, I'm just proud of the lads that dug it out. They worked so hard in 10 men, and like I say, to come here and have to deal with 10 men for such a long period is really difficult. And I'm really bitterly disappointed with how the flow of the games, or not the flow of the game, but how the games ended up. But yeah, credit to the 10 men. That dug it out.
If we could do this chronologically, so I agree with you, first 35 minutes, apart from a nervous start, you must have been pleased with the team? Yeah,
really pleased. Yeah, like you say, a bit of a nervous start. We're away from home, it's a tough place to come. These have a top 6 budget. We're in the playoff final last year. These are a good team. They're a very good team at this level, and they're finding their feet. But we matched them. We had a couple of instances in their box. We had a couple of corners, and we're in the game. We're massive in the game. And I even think when they go 1-0 up, I thought if we can get into half time, I was going to tweak a few things, and I thought we'd get more pressure on, and I thought we'd be better second half. So there was no doubt in my mind that second half would go and score a goal with 11 men on the pitch.
The long range effort. Look, George Wickens made a stunning save in the second half from Matete, but fair to say a bit disappointed with him in that first goal.
Yeah, there's a couple of things on the edge of the box. He's come inside too easy. We haven't dealt well enough on the wide areas. We should have pushed it wide more. We should have got up to the ball more. And then maybe he could have. I've not seen the goal back with all what's been going on, but he probably could have got a hand to it. I need to see it all back. But we're being hurt at the minute through those situations, and we've just got to double down on it and make sure we're better in those situations. And that's not it's George. It's in front. It's behind, and but we're in the game. That's the reality. It's 1-0 when we're in the game.
I appreciate you said you're waiting for the report from the referee to find out, but we know both yellow cards were not for challenges on players. That's got to be disappointing. Yeah,
like I say, it's for dissent, and I don't know what he said or what he said. I've been knocking on the referee's door, but I can't even get into that at the moment. So, look, whatever happens, if it is dissent for 2 yellow cards, I'll deal with it, and I'll deal with it internally, and I have to deal with it with Ethan if that's the thing that comes out. But the reality is, I don't know the situation at the minute. I was just talking to Chris about tactics and how we can get back in the game, and something's happened, and I haven't seen any of it. But I'll do if it's Ethan, I'll deal with it internally. If it's not, and something's gone on, then I have to look at that with the league as well.
When you're talking about Ethan, though, it's not the first time he's had yellow cards for this. As you said, if it is this, are you frustrated? Because presumably you talked to him about it, and if it is that case, he's not listening.
Yeah, we work hard with him. We work hard with him on his discipline. We work hard with him, and he can be some player, right? He can be some player. There's no doubt about that. Everybody sees his talent. Everybody sees what he does for us, and he's a player that lives on the edge. But he's got to control. He's got to control his emotions better and not go over the edge on things. But that's again, I'll deal with all that internally. It's for me to deal with, and I'll deal with it.
What did the referee say to you about it?
He wouldn't tell me. I was just coming after me. He wouldn't tell me. He said, I won't speak to you. I'll speak to you after the game. So I'm still waiting to go in.
And obviously, as you can understand, for 1,000 odd Lincoln fans who make the journey, and for your players, it's disappointing.
I feel for the players who were 10 men, and I definitely feel for the 900 fans who were fantastic and saw how hard our players were working in that second half to travel for an incident that's let a lot of people down. And it's either our side and I'll deal with it, or it's either the referee. And I'm bitterly disappointed for, again, you're right, 100% right, with the fans that have travelled who were fantastic, and the lads who just dug out for 10 minutes. It's not easy to come here with 11, let alone 10. And and I'm just proud of those boys that had to stick it out there and work, because it's not an easy place to come when you have to be in a stadium and you're 3-0 down at 75 minutes, and you can crumble. You could crumble. It could be 6 or 7. But the lads that are out there just work their they just work their socks off. I don't want to swear, but they just work their socks off. I'm bitterly disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, Michael, I think at 3-0, probably a bit like yourself, I'm thinking, what could this be? And you're right to say, credit to the players who dug in.
No, credit to Pordy and Jacko coming on, credit to Tom Bayliss who come on, credit to Jack Moylan, credit to Housey, credit, Conor McGrandles, he got an early yellow, and he's disciplined in the second half, and he's running, I'll get the numbers, but the amount of running that those boys were putting in, and do you know what, I know they've got it in them to see this out, but we shouldn't have to be in that situation. We should be here trying to get some points out of this game.
And the overall form, 1 win in 10 in the league. I mean, you've obviously had good results in the cup competitions.
Yeah, we've got to improve. You know, we're drawing games when we should be winning them. We should be in games when we should be. We've got to improve. There's no doubt about that. It's for me and the staff and the club to look at it. But it's, you know, this is football. This is tough. I've got to improve it. There's no doubt about that. But when things like that happen, I have no control over that. You know, I have no control over that. So like, yeah, I just thought we'd definitely get something out of this game today, and it would look a completely different thing. But yeah, bitterly disappointed.
Michael, if we could end on a plus, it's great to see Adam Jackson back. I've just been talking to him. I saw him come off at Rotherham and saw the state he was in. You saw it much more personally up close. And I know you were quite upset when you reflected on that, so great to see him back on the pitch. Yeah, and it's like little incidences and problems we've had, haven't we, in the back line, and that's been for 10 games or so, and Tom Hamer's out, Jacko's out, 10 guys having to play in the back foot. We've just got to get through it as a club, and we've got to make sure that we keep trying to push and keep trying to pick up points. No one said this league was going to be easy this season. It's a tough league, and I think now what's happening is you're starting to see the big clubs with the big budgets, with the depth they've got in squads, start to navigate to the top, which was always going to happen. I just think we needed a better period over these last, like you say, 10 games. There's no doubt about that. We can pick more points up, but incidents like today just make things a whole lot harder. And you know, we're now going into a game in a couple of days with a group of players that have just played a half with 10 men. So it's not going to be easy now, because it's physically hard through this period anyway. It's going to be double as hard now.